There is only one extreme today: non-stop earthquakes that have been going on for an entire year. The Earth's crust is much more active than it has been in the past because of climate change and human activity. The frequency of earthquakes has increased tremendously in the last several decades, and this trend will continue, with no signs of stopping in the near future. It is not common to experience such unstable Earth conditions, but it is something that could become a reality in the future. In order to live in these conditions, buildings would need to be designed with a less rigid approach and would likely be made out of more eco-friendly materials. A variety of different strategies could be implemented for adapting to this environment, including specialized construction materials and specialized construction techniques. The tectonic plates continue to push together and create tension until an earthquake occurs. This pressure can be overwhelming, however, and often causes earthquakes. Earthquakes like this, which will happen at some point, are a test of the resilience of many buildings. If they happened all the time, it would be an ultimate test of their overall strength and durability. Although buildings are built to handle vertical forces and weight, their walls are not designed to hold up against side-to-side effects of earthquakes. Engineers have worked to develop new methods for reinforcing the structure of the building around the wall circumference. The prevalence of innovative designs and materials in the construction industry is helping create structures that are more earthquake-proof. Being able to manipulate structures in order to absorb the impact of earthquakes could save lives and reduce injuries. Despite the rising amount of natural disasters happening every day, would you have the only safe place to be in the middle of a field? In the United States, on average there are around 20,000 earthquakes a year, with a couple of dozen reaching a magnitude of 8. If you were to happen to be near an earthquake, the ground might shake and shake some more as it happens, followed by a whoosh as the released energy caused nearby structures to sway. If you were further away from an earthquake, it would be much less noticeable. If you were to walk close to a fault line, you would experience a sudden jolt. This would be followed by a period of strong shaking, lasting 10-30 seconds. Even in the most massive earthquakes, these vibrations never last more than a few minutes. However, in this scenario, the vibration would not stop. Instead of 10 seconds, it would last for an entire year. It would be challenging to stand up during all this, and everything not bolted down in your home would likely topple to the ground. Shaking violently can lead to significant property damage, or even the complete destruction of a building. Even the most resilient buildings would struggle to withstand the constant tremors. If the earthquake continued for too long, the financial costs would be astronomical. Hundreds of thousands, or even millions of people could be displaced from their homes. Many would die if that happened, and it is just not worth the risk for it to happen. If you were lucky enough to be further from the epicenter, this would all be less dramatic. You might only feel a gentle bump as the earthquake would end. But because the earthquake wouldn't end for a while, you'd feel a permanent rolling and shaking sensation. Imagine your senses being in constant conflict. Your eyes would be seeing one thing while your muscles would be feeling another. And your inner ears would sense something completely different from what is going on with the rest of your body. If you are experiencing mixed signals from the government, your brain might be feeling overloaded. This is because you would constantly feel nauseous, and there wouldn't be any relief. This could happen even if you don't usually experience motion sickness. Experiencing a regular earthquake could leave you hypervigilant, on constant alert for the next one. You might feel depressed because your home no longer feels safe. But living like this for one full year, you'd have to reevaluate everything in your life and think about how you want to live from then on. In the small town of Anza, California, residents often experience earthquakes on a daily basis, and these small quakes can frequently occur several times in succession. If these earthquakes were to remain at a magnitude of less than 1 on the Richter scale, you would probably not notice them. There were a total of 6,913 earthquakes in the United States between 2017 and 2018. Despite this, they were still able to go about their daily lives as normal because of many mitigating factors. But if the earthquake was larger on the Richter scale, it would produce more noise pollution. This would negatively affect your body's stress response and quality of sleep, leading to long-term health problems like heart disease or even stroke. The Midwest United States is one of the most earthquake-prone regions in the world, but there are still many people who have adjusted their daily life to this threat. Life would be challenging, but it wouldn't stop. The biggest challenge in designing buildings would be to rethink how we design them. There are already many innovative techniques that can reinforce these structures, but it would require even more creativity and efficiency to do so in the future. One material that may be worth exploring for building purposes is spider silk. This material is actually quite interesting because it stiffens under pressure and contracts when even more stress is applied. It expands close to its breaking point and hardens again. This is an example of a spider's web reacting to an insect collision. It protects its net from breaking by limiting the damage to a span between the spokes of the web that only affects the center of it. This action is significant enough that the spider can continue weaving. Thank you for watching. You can support us by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. See you soon.